live momentarily. Hello, everybody! Yeah, Pokemon Yan Yao. So, in lead up to Legends ZA releasing later this year, I'm basically just going through the remaining Pokemon games that I haven't completed yet on the Switch. Basically, I haven't done the Sword and Shield DLC. I haven't completed Legends Arceus, which we were doing as a stream for a while until I just got frustrated with doing it on stream. And we're doing Brilliant Diamond.
Is unbreakable.
Yeah. And kind of the reason why I'm doing this first among them is I hate Sinnoh. I think it's one of the worst laid out Pokemon regions just because you're very limited on the types you can acquire. Like, if you don't get Fire Starter, you're basically just stuck with Ponyta.
Or at least in this game, you can always go down to the underground, the Grand Underground, and try to prowl around for a Houndour.
Which Alexis just found.
Well,
it is a nice improvement for this version of the game, but just based on my prior experience with the old version.
Actually, chat, this morning I was playing, I found a Houndour, and I'm like, huh, I went underground and found a Hellhound. I wonder what that means.
In case in point of that, there's not a lot of good water types this early on, so I just went with the Psyduck. Now, a big advantage over the original is, for people who haven't played Brilliant Diamond and the Pearl remake is...
It's Shining Pearl.
Shining Pearl, I thought it was. I wasn't sure. By having Let's Go and Sword save data, easy access to Mew and Jirachi. I absolutely love Jirachis.
That's how we're all doing. We just got back to the gym. The guy. You don't play charge Jirachi.
David said, I was actually going to ask you why you were playing this one, considering you've been very clear about your vendetta against Gen 4. And Gen 2, for that matter. Like, of the even-numbered generation Pokemon games, I've really only liked Kalos and Galar. And basically, I'm doing it first simply because I want to get it done. I don't want to leave it for last. I want to get done with this and then go to the ones which are more appealing.
Although I will say between Sinnoh and Johto, I prefer Johto. If only because, like, Johto has, like, the best post-game, like, at least the early side of the games. I mean, with the whole, hey, you beat Johto, congratulations. Now do Kanto over there. What do you mean over there? Those are little lady cheerleaders.
Ride Wild. Yeah, they really just screwed the pooch for not trying to at least adapt the improvements that Platinum made. Same thing happened with the, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire remakes for Hoenn. It's like, you should have really applied everything Emerald put in there, including the option to battle both teams in a given version. The Delta chapter is okay, but it's not a replacement for an actual Emerald remake. Crystal, don't people like Kalos more because of the anime? No, Kalos is a genuinely good region. I don't care about the bugs. The bugs were not a big deal. People overblew the number of bugs that were there.
Okay, let me put it this way. Kalos as a region is solidly designed. It is a very solid region. I think when people say they don't like Kalos, what they're really talking about is maybe the story in Kalos wasn't the best it could have been.
Yeah. And the lack of post-game for just the Gen 6 stuff. Because they were, the developers were starting to feel the rush due to just everything. The Pokemon selection, new ones, the new mechanics they had there for them, Mega Evolution, those were great.
Fenris, basically was just, go beat Kanto over there. Over where? Sees Kanto. Has that been there the whole time? What you get there, Kanto?
I just think because of everything related to egg evolution, people were expecting something bigger than than everything that was ever planned for it.
Yeah, which is very true, because I remember playing through Kalos and going, wow, I actually really enjoyed these Mega Evolutions. I thought the gameplay was solid. I thought the fairy type was actually a well. You'll forget that Kalos is where fairy types became a thing, and I think that was actually a very well needed, long overdue gameplay balance, because before it was dragon type, it was either ice or dragon. That guy has Gaunt.
And then there's this asshole.
The newly created world, a world where only time flowed and space expanded. There should have been no strife. But what became of that world? Because the human spirit is weak and incomplete. Strife has spread. This world is being ruined by it. I found the state of things to be deplorable. Sir, I just want to get to this cave.
The irony that mostly it's the teams thinking the world has to change a lot. When, you just have minor societal issues that get blown out of proportion, and it's usually assholes like him that are the direct cause of them. Alright, so how deep are we on this file badges-wise? 2 badges. The Rock Gym and the Grass Gym. We are going to Eterna City for the 3rd badge, and then the second we get straight for hunting for a Gibble.
No, Eterna was the second.
Hearthrealm.
Hardhome is actually where the 5th gym is, but you can't go there just yet. The 3rd gym is actually Maylene.
Coordinate, Route 228, Hearthrealm, Amity Square, Route 209, Lost Station, Salation Ruin, Salation Town, Route 210, Route 215, Veilstone City, Veilstone Gym. We are on the direction of Hearthrealm City because that's the next location.
Yep.
And literally got the guide pulled up.
Your Crystal, so Alexis, hear that one of the co-creators of Symphogear made a singing magical girl anime called Suspension Orchestra? No, Cure Crystal, I have not heard about that. It's not like I check social media all the time and haven't seen people talk about it. I have not heard. I live in a cave. No, literally, I've seen people watch the first episode and go,
"This is Symphogear.
This is just Symphogear." You literally created Symphogear. Explain. Girl goes to concert, gets attacked, gets magic powers, starts punching people. Symphogear.
Yep.
I just imagine Cyrus just going up to random people and espousing his whole life philosophy because he has nothing better to do with his time. It's like, and the world will be pure once I'm in space bent to my knee. Sorry, that's the wind.
Basically anything you could have done to fix the world, you could have done without calling down God to remake everything.
What if you called down God because you wanted a cheese sandwich? Wait, you called down me, Arceus, just to make a cheese sandwich? Well, yeah.
The best cheese sandwich in the world.
What cheese sandwich could that be? It was at a place that I knew when I was a kid, but it's closed down now, and the recipe has been lost to time. I must learn about this cheese sandwich.
No. Fine, I will give you a divine cheese sandwich. The best cheese sandwich you will ever have. This is delicious. In fact, it's too delicious. Enjoy having divine diabetes, bitch.
Divine diabetes. No, wait. I will give you the best cheese sandwich ever created. But you're what? In exchange, you're now lactose intolerant. No.
There's always the monkey's paw.
Monkey's Arceus?
No. And we don't have rock climb yet. Rock climb is actually a pretty decent move for this gen.
Yeah. The answer lies in the heart of the battle.
I have no reflection if any of the martial arts trainers ever start quoting fighting games.
I would love for there to be like some sort of friendly like, you know, like when video games have cameos from like other series and stuff, but they're not called the characters' names.
I think best question if you just watched the show Pantheon.
Oh, I heard that one.
Adult anime series on... Okay, there's the problem. AMC.
Ah, okay.
We don't do network television. We barely do streaming services. I feel like Fields for coming back to this a desperation move from Disney. Kinda.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like Disney's creatively bankrupt. The fact that they pushed Mufasa so hard, only for it to get absolutely bodied by Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you went back to the early 2000s and said to somebody that there was going to be 3 really good Sonic the Hedgehog movies, you would have been.
And one of them was going to involve Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, and Keanu Reeves is going to voice Shadow, and Idris Elba was going to voice Knuckles. Like, nobody would believe you. You would be the heretic.
Also, Cyclops is there for some reason.
Oh yeah, it's Cyclops.
Full seasons are on Netflix. What did we just say about streaming services? We're not paying for Netflix. Like literally, we don't have anything to do with Netflix.
Netflix is stupid.
We have a crap ton of shows we like, which we haven't had a chance to watch. Mainly due to our mixed schedules that don't allow us the time. This is not unknown.
Why somebody would do that?
It all started with an evil scientist named Doofenshmirtz.
Doofenshmirtz?
Yes.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. Oh, don't worry, it's just a normal side duck. The side duck.
Forget everything you need to do to get Spiritomb.
How do you get Spiritomb in this? Aw, did you see that? It said Ryusei wants to be petted.
Blazard, Keystone, go to the Grand Underground, talk to 32 characters in the Grand Underground. These have to be trainers, so I can say things that count. The more you speak to the message that you get when you return to how entire changes so you track your progress. In future, after 32 trainers, you can battle Spiritomb. For some godforsaken reason, you want to go through this pain again, just talk to 32 trainers and we'll reappear. I feel like that's better than how it was in the original Diamond, but I can't remember what that was.
Oh, it was worse. It was way worse. I think what the remakes did was make it so you can just talk to 32 random like NPCs in the underground. Before, in order to activate Spiritomb, you had to physically meet new people.
Mm. Oh, so networking.
Yeah, networking, which
was advertising the internet connectivity of the PS Lite through the dongle adapter, which I had.
Right, but the other unfortunate thing is, what if you're in an area where, or like you're in a living situation where you didn't have the best internet in the first place?
Yeah. which is why action lost my train of thought. Which is why which is why Spiritomb became the most hacked Pokemon out of anything. Just action replay, access, and encounter.
Also, Des, I'm surprised you don't have a Staravia on your team. Well, I mean, that is kind of surprising for most people, because Staravia is usually, like, a mainstay for so long, but Swablu. Like, I mean, it's a Cloudbird! Cloudbird!
Justice Smoke, do we have a Pokemon based on Platypus?
I mean, that's a duck.
It's actually not.
How's that a platypus?
Bill.
That's not bills. They have bills to pay. They have checks to pay and mouths to feed. Ain't nothing in this world for free. There ain't no rest for the wicked. Oh, yeah. Okay, so two things. Golden Gar, also I didn't watch it, but just reading the TV tropes page for Netflix DMC made me hate Lady. You have to be a certain level of stupid to ruin a best girl and invalidate the fake goods rebellion.
Yeah. Like, we knew he was going to fuck it up.
For Crystal, give the Lexus an Eevee plushie. I support this. Give me plushies. I don't have enough plushies. Fenris, talking with NPC the Grand Underground is still better than finding all those dang wisps in Legends Arceus. And yeah, do you remember that?
I don't think we got to that.
Okay, so in Legends Arceus, to get Spiritomb in that game, you have to find wisps. It's the big collectible of the game, but they're always in. It's the classic. They're either in hard to reach locations, they're easily missable, and they're just and with how big the map is, there's no real easy way to like speedrun getting it.
Yeah. Gimme gold. It's the gimme gold coin problem.
Right.
Yeah, 80 Shankar's adaptations are just nothing I want to deal with.
Like, who lets you keep letting that guy get away with it?
Exactly.
You keep getting away with this!
Like, okay, people are really on board the Castlevania stuff, but Castlevania, when you think about it, really wasn't him and the way people think of it. It's like he had a writing team that was really invested in. And Castlevania games are a lot less loose in their stories, so they have more freedom in adaptation. Whereas Devil May Cry, yeah, the first game is soft on plot, but if they're going in chronological order for plotting, then the later games, which technically come earlier in the storyline, are a bit heavier on how you do it. So that's not going to make anyone happy.
Fenris, while Gimme Goo coins were in chunks, you had to find 107 with one at a time. Okay, that would be a pain in the butt. I remember, like, with the Gimme Ghoul coins, we could at least find chests with, like, a whole bunch of them in there.
I never got more than 10.
I got one with, like, 20 in it once.
Yeah. So, like, that took forever as I was exploring the map, and re-exploring the map, and re-exploring the map, and so on and so forth.
I thought maybe get her hair like that.
Very carefully. I mean, it's just a variation on the Odongo drill curls.
Yep. I actually like Fantina. Different, like, take on the ghost type lead.
Plus, you get fixated on people with that hairstyle.
presentation.
Like the bangs.
Yeah.
On the back.
Yes. Welcome to the world of stage performance. Are you ready to partake in public speaking?
So yeah, for Wisps versus Gimme Ghoul coins, again, you need like 1,000 Gimme Ghoul coins to evolve just one, and I never got more than 10 at a time, so I actually ended up, and most of them were like 1 and 2 at a time when I encountered the small ones, so, yeah, I'm a bit biased on that.
Again,
At least for the Spiritomb, once you have it, you don't need to do it again. If you want to train a better Gholdengo or find a stronger Gimme Ghoul to evolve, then you're kind of just stuck doing it all over again.
fair enough. I mean, honestly, when you think...
So it's like, actually finding a strong Gimme Ghoul with proper IVs and whatnot, that's probably easier than getting each encounter of the Spiritomb, but if you only want to just catch it, you're done after one. And granted, they rate that way just because of how abusive the metagame around Spiritomb is due to its resistances, which have been kind of fixed by the introduction of the fairy type, so they're not absolutely immune to everything. But yes, they kind of needed something like that just because of how abusive Wonder Guard Spiritomb was in the competitive game.
Bradley Harris, I want to spin off base focus on Pokemon contests and being Pokemon coordinator. I actually kind of dig that because the anime was made like the Pokemon contests look way more hype than they actually are in the game.
Because it was just a tack onto an existing system.
Right. Whereas with, like, if you did a full game based around it, then you could actually maybe take control of the Pokemon and, like, do special moves and stuff to, like, get really flashy and stuff. And maybe some people just want to put their Pokemon in cute little dresses, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
Idiot reviews. I think the most recent Combine Harvester bit on the top fourth wall was just review Future's End like 3 years ago. That wasn't 3 years ago.
No, was it?
His review of Future's End was in 2018 as part of his 10th anniversary as 500th episode. 6 years ago.
Or was it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't 6 years ago. It hasn't been 6 years. Hi, Barry.
Last half decade has been trash.
You forgot to heal, didn't you?
I didn't get a chance to heal. Trying to find the Pokemon Center when I ran into this guy.
Also, why are we battling in the void again?
Also, controversial hot take. I consider Barry the most insufferable of the rivals. Like, I don't mind the Kalos group. I love the Paldea group. It's Barry that drives me up the wall. Josh McCullough, I'm excited for the upcoming release of Super Overworld's Y because it's releasing globally on the Switch. Yeah, hopefully the DLC won't get region locked this time. Hell, we're waiting for news on the physical version because it's supposed to include complete season pass DLC for everything, plus the soundtrack, plus a robot spirits figure of the main mech.
Yeah, and like basically like it's available on Japanese sites for pre-order. But I really hope they bring that edition globally because that would be like...
Because pre-orders not open for the American release because political idiocy, and it's not available on Play Asia either yet.
yeah, they're never collectors. I don't usually go for collector's editions with video games. I usually find them to be like overrated.
Jared Defman, DJ Toku has that hot take. Everyone finds very annoying.
Oh.
I keep hearing people say the Kalos and Galar rifles are worse. It's like, no. No, this is the worst one.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Silver either, but that's just me being picky about Johto.
Okay, so me and Des had this conversation last night. So, okay, for the Kalos rifles. While they are your group of friends, the actual challenge they present to you isn't that much. However, they're at least not acting antagonistic or annoying towards you. They're like your compatriots, right? Whereas with Barry, he is constantly like going, oh, I'm going one step ahead of you, ha ha ha. Like, it's the way he's being annoying.
Interviews of Super Overwatch Y, good entry for people who are still into giant back anime. My main exposure is Gal Geiger. What is he got him in a bit of Gun and Unicorn? I have literally released 20 videos on this subject. Literally released 20 videos on this subject already. Telling you where to go. And we can't say whether Y is a good option because we've had all of one trailer. That is a question that's already been answered in video form from me. There is no reason for you to not have watched that and to be informed.
But instead of talking about negativity with like bad Pokemon rivals, we all agree that Nemona's the best.
Yep.
It's like
I have no complaints.
It's like Nemona to me is like the quintessential rival in that he's friendly enough to you to like, develop a camaraderie, but also her drive to always be better and want to keep fighting, stronger opponents.
It's infectious.
It's infectious because it's clear that like, and then when you learn why she's like this, it actually helps you empathize with her. You remember what that was?
It's the character writing all across the board in Paldea was top tier.
Yeah. Like, I honestly love that detail with Nemona's backstory. It's one of the easy to miss things. But basically, her family is loaded, and as such, she never had a chance to really stand out on her own. It was a classic Silver Spoon problem. But once she just learned how to Pokemon battle, that was something uniquely hers. That was what she could do.
Yeah. Kind of helps with giving her that kind of backstory with how she basically has Momoyaya Rhodes' hairstyle.
Dear Crystal, and yet people say that N and Silver are the best rivals for Pokemon. Okay. Let me ask that.
And story-wise, because of how deeply he ties into just the events in the first half of the Unova story, I can see that. Silver? No.
No, okay.
He's barely a character.
Whereas, honestly, I feel like in terms of top 3 rivals, we're going Nemona, N, and then Blue. Only because Nemona encapsulates the best story and the best, challenge or the rival should present. And like you said, N has the best story attached to him. But I feel
he ties one of those that ties most into the story.
Yeah. Whereas, and with Blue, I feel like they got it pretty right on the first try, to be honest. He's the right kind of jerk that you want to take down a peg. And also the surprise twist that, he was the got ahead of you to be the champion for all 5 seconds before you curb stomp him.
Mm-hmm. It's right before the fall.
Exactly.
It's kind of the problem of just Gen 1 where there's so much you have to read into.
Yeah, which is also fair. Quiz of Wonders. Nemona is the lost daughter of Goku. I mean, you were already making that joke. What I heard about it. So how do Pokemon lay eggs?
Look through the guide to make sure I'm not missing anything.
DJ Tofu, okay, here's a good question. Which region would you say has the best collection of gym leaders? That's actually a very good question. Because
There's pros and cons to basically them.
I will say that I feel like Kalos might have the weakest batch of gym leaders since I don't really remember much of them.
I'm having that problem kind of across the board outside of the original ones, and just the original ones really stick in my mind because of how long they were just in everything. Granted, the farther along you go, the more you see the gym leaders have, like, second jobs, and I kind of feel like that's a consequence of just, the world market where you basically become Larry. Everybody basically becomes Larry.
Actually, yeah, okay, so I have two answers. Owen, because I like how all the gym, like, I feel like each of the gym leaders represent a certain level of difficulty. Like, for example, the fact that in, especially in the original Ruby and Sapphire, the 8th gym leader was Wallace, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, he just has water types, what's so bad about a water type? But then you realize how beefy water types can be, and then he whips out the Milo. Then it's like, then the Milotic happens, right?
Yeah, and it's like if you haven't been paying attention to Feebas, you don't realize, just the potential of that. Granted, if you don't have access to training, then Feebas is kind of difficult to deal with in that generation.
Right. But if you do get it, you can have a Milotic, then you realize that thing is a freaking Loch Ness monster. That is even if you have a grass type on hand, you're gonna get Ice Beam. If you have an electric type, then you best fully hope your Thunder is able to pierce the barrier. You know what I mean? But my second answer, I think Paldea actually had the next batch of strongest of gym leaders. Again, Larry alone, I thought that was funny as heck, right? I mean, like, the guy is already a gym leader for, like, one type, but then he's called up to the duty for the Elite Four, and it's like, I am with you need another member, so I'll do flying. Here we go.
Everyone is Larry. There's no arguing that.
Dr. Caliph, besides the full Sinnoh decks from Platinum and the Battle Frontier, what mechanic from prior Pokemon games do you think have made the would have made the Gen 4 remakes better? My pick is Mega Evolution. Okay, so basically they're asking, like, what other thing could the Gen 4 remake add in to make it better? Honestly, like, I don't think it's the problem with Gen 4's remake is the game mechanic in of itself. Rather,
It's a bit of the art style.
yeah, because when people thought Gen 4 remake, they thought that meant, like, full-on, like, model, like, actual full sprite models, not the chibi art style.
And it's like, it's not that the chibi art style is bad, necessarily, it's just like, it's deeply uncanny valley.
Especially when you go to the regular Pokemon battles and then you see the actual full-size human character model and you're wondering, what's the problem with that? You know what I mean? Ooh, do you want to cook some poppins?
Yeah, no.
Kier Crystal, does Alola count because they don't have gym leaders in the traditional sense? Alola kinda counts, but, like, because the speed doesn't exactly form until you get to the end game. It doesn't. It's like a. Let me put it this way: if you were doing a top 10 gym leaders list, Alola would have to be your asterisk. You know what I mean?
Simply because you're forming the league.
Which is still a cool concept.
Granted, the Gen 7 games are among those that I never completed simply because everything in 2016, 2017 was kind of awful for free time. Kind of why I'm doing this, because I want to complete the ones I can before Legend ZA releases and I can go back to Kalos.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's why I came over here to do that.
Fenris, Larry is not just a gym leader, but also Elite Four for an entirely different type, and also works a regular 9 to 5. How is that man alive? He is. Oh, somebody help Larry. He's working too much. You know anything about him working too much?
No, I know nothing about that.
Are you sure? Oh, man.
I mean, considering how work right now is only giving us overtime alerts within a half goddamn hour of when the ship fucking starts, so we can't actually get to it, it's kind of insufferable. Especially with how things are economically going into the toilet because people can't read patterns.
You say go? What's in the egg?
I don't know. But if looking it up didn't give me any information.
The mystery egg.
I swear, if it ends up being Riolu, I will be happy.
This man loves Lucario.
I do!
Like, for me, there's so many good Pokemon out there that I have a hard time deciding, like, what is Lexi's favorite Pokemon. Right?
There were over 1,000 of them.
Yeah, that's the thing, there's over 1,000 of them, so, like, just picking one is, like,
there are a few wrong answers.
yeah. I mean, I love Mudkip. And Torchic's amazing.
And we're still likely just a year or two out from the next game, probably 2 years, because of us wanting them to do a really good job with it this time around. Again, not that Paldea was bad, but because of the bugs at launch, there was clearly more time that was needed.
Hood. My personal faves are Blastoise and Gengar. Yeah. Feel. So, you're walking around with a monkey?
Yep.
You could say he's gonna open up his third eye and then, like that's the mind. Yeah, is it even possible to put 1,025 Pokemon in one game? And short answer,
Probably not at this point.
however, well, like, it is sort of something you can criticize, like, the fact that there's over 1,000 Pokemon. That means, like, Actually, no. I'm gonna say this right now. The fact that there's over 1,000 Pokemon is actually a good thing, and furthermore, it means that future games can focus less on original Pokemon, but rather with different remixes. You know what I mean? Like, one of the things I loved about Paldea was like seeing like what parts of the map had like what regions of Pokemon in. You know what I mean?
There's Pokemon that have been in nearly every game, and then there are Pokemon that have only been in one game.
Right, and just seeing like how they fix things around and be different about it, I think that's a benefit. Yeah. Oh no, it's a Chansey. You're not living. Oh, you son of a...
Crazy high health plus healing abilities. Yeah, that's Chansey.
Isn't this like a Face of Mercy? Wait, is this wild? Yep. Oh my god, it's a wild Chansey. Yep. I love how Chansey has like one thing, and that one thing is being an HP wall.
One of the biggest damage sponges.
And if you know how to build a Chansey right, yeah, like, that is a monster. That is
The substitute recover combo.
Okay, I think you're good too. Oh, it's a female Chansey too.
It's like I'm 9 levels higher than it, and Jirachi was taking a while to whittle it down.
It's like, Chansey's really good and everything, but it's not like it's gonna get any strong. Turns into a Blissey. How big is that HP pool?
Yes. Team Omega, at least it's not Miltank. Am I the only person on the planet that never had a problem with Miltanks?
Apparently, you're the only sole human that's never had to deal with the fury of Whitney's Miltank.
Because I over-leveled!
Oh yeah, that's the thing. You over-leveled when you. I think for most people, they were going through the game at their own pace and weren't willing to sit around and like grind and stuff.
Oh. There we go.
Even saying it, never screw with the white mage.
Josh McCulloch, they made the miracle announcement that Transformers County Super Robot Wars. It's not going to happen.
Ooh, Giga Train. What I like about Roselia though, or just the Rose with it, and then eventually Rosa Raid, is the fact that there are several different ways you can build it, right?
Mm.
You want it to be like a pure special attacker, and like you can do that. If you want it to be the status debuff thing, which is what I saw with that moveset, you know, with the toxic spikes and all that, you can do that.
Yeah, it's nicely flexible.
Actually, that was the other thing I feel like Gen 4 did right, in that, like, I remember the first time I saw Rosa Raid or like Licky in the Magneton evolutions, and I'm like, what do you mean that old Pokemon can get new tiers? What? Like, it was the first time I feel old Pokemon were able to like do something different, you know. You know which one was the worst one though? Oh, I honestly felt like out of all those like new evolutions they introduced in Gen 4, Probopass is probably like my least favorite.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's Mr. Potato Head. It is Mr. Potato Head Pokemon.
Nose.
Goldeen.
they were saying, we can dream test, besides odds are good, it would be victory due to it being an inspiration for the Brave series. Not necessarily inspiration, but they saw they had a story format in Victory that was popular, and so when Transformers basically died, it allowed them to transition into something new.
Actually, like that is something I wanted to. I've been thinking about for a while. Like I feel like Super Wars 30's biggest issue was that there were so many series involved that no one series was able to release. Like the series amalgamation was just crap.
It was absolute crapshoot, and a heavy part of that was because of Gun and Victory.
Yeah, but
because Gun and Victory is just incompatible with so fucking much other stuff.
right. However, that being said, I would like to see future SRWs play around with the cameo format. You know, like maybe a full series can't be included for whatever reason, but maybe something adjacent. Like say, we're in a Mazinger Z focus stage, right? And then Cutie Honey shows up.
That's more appropriate for mobile games than the console ones.
The Mime Juniors. That Mr. Mime bit from Detective Pikachu was so funny.
966, which Pokemon series do you think did Ash the most dirty for losing in the Pokemon League? It's either Gen 4 or Gen 6. I don't even know what happened in Gen 5. And Gen 4, specifically because that Darkrai curb stomp, and if for Gen 6, it's just short, and then the big conflict happens because of bullshit. Like, generally, if they're gonna have the whole big Zygarde fight immediately after Pokemon League, it would be better to say Ash won the tournament, but then lost because he couldn't do his part to stop the larger plans of the villains of the long arc of Kalos. You know, show that even if you win, you're still not strong enough yet. Then you transition into everything Alola was doing with building a Pokemon League. Then you have Ash feel more legitimate in his champion status, and then you go into everything for what they did for Galar. Like that way, you get the long arc narrative out of it, which Kalos was really emphasizing.
According to Josh McCall, what happened was in Gen 5, Ash lost the camera and newly evolved Lucario. So it was that nonsense that, like...
Which usually Ash himself exploits.
Right, so it's like for a long while there, they kept inventing new and creative BS reasons for why Ash would lose, right? Ash isn't winning this tournament because, Meteor Strike.
I think the most legitimate loss they had him having in a big tournament is when Charizard wouldn't obey him. Because that's legitimate, because that was an ongoing plot with Charizard ever since it evolved.
Because I think what happened was the Charizard evolved way before Ash was ready to control it.
Even though, you know, the badge system, but they don't have the badge mastery system there. Especially with how fast Charmander evolved into Charmeleon and then Charizard, so, you know, there was never that bond connection to bridge them, especially with how Charmander was abused, so it's like it went through its rebellious teen phase. And then you dealt with that in the Orange Island arc, which a bit late for the tournament, but still, they got their conclusion there. And then you send him off to stupid training in Johto, so now that's no longer a ongoing plot.
Sharky 38, unexpected but cool to explain this. I am the one person who doesn't hate this game.
Yeah, that's not us. Again, as I said earlier in the stream, I'm completing this one first out of the 3 Switch Pokemon games I haven't finished, simply because I want to be done with it.
Be for die.
I literally took a step.
You killed one beaver. Now get ready to face the army.
Curse you, Perry the Platypus!
They're beavers. They're not platypuses.
No, side back.
That headbutt's actually a really good move.
It is.
Is that introduced in Gen 4?
Gen 3, I believe.
That's it. You, or no, you just want to kill on a principal.
Yes.
Well. No,
Okay, the other bad reasons being Blaziken, Meowth, and Boots, Hacker with Darkrai, Lucario, Idiot, Mega Charizard. Blaziken I feel like was legitimized because it emphasized Ash's need to continue journeying because there's all sorts of Pokemon you never encountered before out there. Whereas when it's otherwise, it's mainly stuff in region that he fights. So it's like, you know, expect the unexpected. But then you do the legendary bullshit, and that's a bit less legitimate cause for a loss.
Yeah, because it's like, by the very nature of legendaries, they only like a chosen few trainers are ever able to like, you know, interact, let alone catch one. So to then whip it out of it. Again,
Yeah, because before that, the rule of the Pokemon anime was you're not going to see trainers encounter and have in their party legendaries. So it was breaking an unspoken rule. Bringing a Pokemon from another region, that was not a thing before, but you could see it happening in universe.
yeah, I can see like a logic there because there would be nothing in the rules that would say you couldn't do that.
Yeah, Fenner Sugiyami, the Gen 4 guy went from a Darkrai to a fucking Latias, right? I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, which is even more nonsense because it's like Darkrai's already like.
It's like if you bring a team of legendaries into the anime Pokemon League, it feels like you're cheating. Considering there's a finite number of any specific legendary Pokemon. It's like a trainer bringing in a Mew. There's only supposed to be one.
Dr. Calip, going back to Paul the leaders, my favorite is Iono, only because she's so energetic. Because of the whole Super Chat chaos she started with the Boosters of Hollow Line.
Hmm.
Kind of like some real world shenanigans.
Induce a little anarchy.
Yeah. David Hayden, in regards to the B-Barrel earlier, it's an HM slave. You're doing them at mercy, really. Dark?
Darkness.
I mean, okay, considering in this game you don't need to have an HM slave anymore. Rather, you can just, like, call upon a random Bidoof to do your bidding. Like, yeah! They know. Oh, are we giddy fight?
Mouse?
DJ Toku, what would you have named your Luxio if it was a dude?
Who's a good lightning elemental anime character? I named it Mikoto specifically because Railgun. I'm forgetting what I named my older ones.
Okay, but real funny chat. So, it's been a long time hunting down for a female Shinx just so we could name it Mikoto.
Yeah.
I restarted Pokemon Brilliant Diamond last night.
And got one immediately.
I found a female one immediately.
Like, first time she went into the wilds.
Yeah.
And I swear, trainer gender actually affects those encounter rates.
Golden Garo, Killua, Axis. Oh. Bradley Harris, how about Satsuki?
It'd be 30-minute or 24 4-hour timeout.
oh, oh, come on now.
Sharky 38, I mean to ask you, you said certain producers like Kyokai Sentiki failed. Can you tell me more about that? I forget the specific details, but it wasn't just the producer, it was the writer. Basically, they were trying to ape Code Geass, and it didn't go very well. And then the writer for Kyokai Senki went and did Code Geass Rose 3 Capture. Disaster.
A mega disaster. Like looking back on it, it's funny because Code Geass, throughout all the years and throughout all the problems, there was just something special about that first anime that captured a lot of people's attentions and hearts and minds and all that stuff.
And then they split it, so it originally planned to be one season, and everything since then has never gotten past the mistake in doing that.
But regardless, like, you can't be, unless you, like, you can't lightning in a bottle of Code Geass. It's one of those, like, every so often a show comes along that just happens to work for a lot of people, and you can't artificially produce it.
It's like when you produce so much extra canonical lore because it won't fit in the main series, and then you keep disregarding it even though that extra canonical lore explains the characters, just because you want to do this other thing with your story, there's a point where the conflicts are just too overwhelming.
Speaking of, one of my, neutrals in the Code Geass group chat I'm part of, their favorite is actually Ultron.
I can kind of see that.
Yeah, Ultron Zevon is definitely a Code Geass girl that not many people know about, and I wish more people did.
It's just like, it needs to be a matter of the manga being translated. Okay, yeah, here it is. Hiroki Komatsu, the Kyokai Senki creator, he is a mess when it comes to what little he's done. Basically the Unova Pokemon series.
Oh.
It was his idea to do the character reset for Ash. Yeah. And the other producer is Yoshikazu Benia, who is the Yokai Watch guy.
Okay, Yokai Watch is moderately successful, but, like...
It's like, he's not the worst, but he's rather inconsistent. He was one of his first jobs was as a line producer on Rock Band EXE's movie, The Program of Light and Darkness, but then he was also big on Ikitusen and Rin Daughter of Mimazine, and he was the main producer of Sergeant Kororo, which I'm amazed that ran for 5 years. Went to Gynax for Medaka Box. It's like, it's stuff that runs, but isn't the best.
The entire chat is just reacting to this information, and, like...
Yeah.
And they're just going, oh...
Yeah.
That explains.
Yeah. And it's like, we have to blame the writer as well, but the buck stops at the producer. As for Noboru Kimura, the main writer of the series, you might know him best from, the worst episode of Cross Ange, Rondo of Angels Dragons, and Gundam Build Divers, which he completely screwed up. And in fact, all three of these people all worked on the, anime Makin Ki, which is adapted from a fan service manga, which I'm not even getting into that. But, Noboru Kimura also did, a bunch of episodes of Gundam Age. And, oh god, he wrote
about a third of Persona 5 the animation.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like Nobuo Kimura is one of those people that failed upwards.
It's like...
And that's the other thing that's been giving people a lot of anger. Solo leveling.
Oh, that thing. That like...
Solo leveling is crazy popular right now as a webtoon Korean manga that got super popular, and people have had many, many issues with the anime adaptation.
Terror of Death. Not Bill Diver. Veterans. Oh, God!
Yeah.
Media Hood. Ah, that explains it.
Yeah, specifically Build Divers 1, not Build Divers Rewrites, which retroactively fixed Build Divers 1. He also, for some reason, did Gundam Build Metaverse, which was its entire own mess, because before that series, the Build series were assumed to be in the same universe, not its own mangle of a multiverse. Also, Buddy Complex. So yeah, Nobuo Kimura is one of those writers who just know every time he's involved with something, it goes bad whenever he's involved.
Yeah, so folks, basically the lesson we learned here is if you don't like a particular show or anime or whatever, take a look at the producer and the writing credit first, because you never know what kind of like stuff, like bad stuff there is behind the scenes.
Like the only thing I've seen of his that I in part liked was a OVA series called Cosplay Complex, but a lot of that OVA is bad. I liked it because it was looking at cosplay culture at a time when I was getting into the cosplay scene and trying to make my own costumes with some friends in high school. That's the only reason I liked it, because it was into that oeuvre of interest. Not necessarily because it was good in of itself.
Wasn't Kimura responsible for Rose of the Recapture?
Yeah, that's how we got into this entire tangent.
I will never forgive Rose of the Recapture for, like, giving Talon all of 4 seconds! 4!
Rose of the Recapture is also an issue of what continuity is it, because they include stuff from Akito, which doesn't happen in the movie timeline, but Rose is continuing on from the events of the movie timeline. Same thing with the Positive Reflection manga characters, because a lot of their stuff can't occur in the movie timeline, even if they exist in the movie timeline itself. So following up on their plot points don't make sense, because there is no period in time in which their story can occur. Which just shows how little Nobuo Kimura understood or was aware of the changes in the setting, because without the time skip of R1 to R2, where a bunch of these interim things happen, you can't include those stories anymore. And yet Rose does.
Also, you gave Talon like 4 seconds of screen time, and she only did one thing, and that pisses me off so much.
Not even that, it's like they were banking on these legacy characters to get people to just watch it when, what's wrong? It's been the Code Geass problem. There's so much baggage connected to the other, the prior stories which have not been settled, that it's impossible at this point to do more with anybody. The same argument I was making throughout my review of the series, where you needed to fix these things if you wanted to move onwards, but since you did, you can't successfully do more now.
Dig a tunnel. Dig a tunnel.
No.
Oh, you want do what the stream needs?
No.
Do you know what the stream needs?
No.
What?
No.
What? You don't want to. Puns are the greatest. Chad, do you want to hear puns?
No. Eric, I always thought that Build Fighters and Divers were in separate universes. Is that not the case? It was not until Metaverse, no. It's like, you can see it as successive time periods. Because, you know, Fighters Try is a sequel to Fighters, and then they have that whole virtual scape in the first place, so swapping to an MMO system actually makes sense.
Puns are good. Hell yeah, puns. Thank you, One for puns.
Especially because Divers and Re-Rise both have cameos in different ways from prior series characters. And I mean both Build and Gundam, like Gundam characters in AU. So it's already AU timeline from the normal Gundam AU timelines. That's not an issue. It's just setting the Build series up as its own metaverse instead of occurring at different places and points in time just convolutes it unnecessarily. Blue Sharky 38, any thoughts Super Outdoors? Why? We have literally just had one trailer. Like, and the first trailers are usually a bit deceptive. Because, you know, they're earliest information. So it's like, whenever we have trailers, I say, I'm holding my opinion, so... Because otherwise, you know, you get the entirely wrong idea of what it's going to do. My only concern is they're going to be another one which doesn't fix Resurrection, because it's impossible to fix Resurrection at this point. The fact they didn't show off what Universal Century Series Gundam they're doing and just show G Gundam also is kind of a flag on the play. But I think they just need to stop using anything you see for a while. Especially because of the issues with Toru Furura, where people will be very mad if he's back as Amuro again.
If Hawaii does have to have a Universal Century series, may I put in a tender for, like, one that should be in there? 0083. And that one has been seen in a very long time, and I feel like its plot doesn't necessarily mean it has to be, like, I'm not saying it in its own self-contained bubble, but I could see it existing alongside, like, other AU Gundam series and not have it seem weird. Like, you know, like the whole we're developing a new type of weapon kind of thing. And plus, I just kind of want to pilot the Dendrobium Orcus.
Yeah.
That's not so wrong. About that.
Crystal, I'm happy Coyote vs. Acme is getting a theater release next year. Are you going to watch it? Considering how the entire hell backspin because Zasla's an idiot.
Oh, another series I feel like needs to come back to Robot Wars? Gideon. Well, okay, only because if we're doing Getter Robo Arc, and if you put Ideon and Getter in the same game, then there's one long-standing mecha question that fans have had. Which wins? The Ideon or the Emperor?
That wins, we all lose.
Exactly, and I think, or rather, if Why lets us fight the Getter Emperor to some capacity, I think people will be really happy about that, because that is a long-standing mecha enemy that has never been properly showcased outside of maybe a few bits here and there. So it's like, just the honor of fighting the guy, you know?
I think if they're gonna do stuff like the Emperor, then they need basically every other god tier mecha in it as just a competitive challenge. And I'm not just referring to Mazinger Zero in that.
Like, bust out your Gurren Lagans, bust out, like...
Make this the one where Sentai finally gets in the game with God King Oger.
God King Oger trying to bop Getter Emperor in the face.
Like, it's one of the few mecha that can actually grow to its size scale and do it.
Yeah. Are you killing beavers again? Why must the beavers die? Why must you kill the beavers, State? That's...
Plus, if they're doing G Gundam again, I want them to do another chance at Gal Geiger versus Betterman, because that story was badly handled in 30 as well. Reviews. Didn't you mention the Emperor is the second only to Mazagura as the most powerful mech in all of fiction? Yeah. During Login stands top universes, God King Ogre slays gods, Getter Emperor consumes universes, Mazagura Zero resets reality. It's like, you can't top that. On top of, you know, the Mazagura Zero being able to copy every mecha's in fiction's ability because it's metafictionally aware.
Yeah, that's the other scary thing on Zero that most people don't really think about. On top of its already insane plethora of abilities, the fact that it's metafictional, like it's self-aware that it's of what it is to an extent, is like terrifying. Like, think of your favorite mecha that's not Gundam.
It's like it can pull out abilities that don't exist in the universe it comes into. That's scary.
Aha! We finally developed a countermeasure for you, Monster Zero. Pulls out, like... Oh...
And I still stand by what I said in the Super OSB reviews, and that the only ways to legitimately defeat Monster Zero are things that ignore... attacks that ignore armor class and kill its pilot, so even if it's acting autonomously, it's not as strong as if it had a pilot to act as... act symbiotically with, so Gurren, or something that can collapse dimensions like Evangelion Unit 1 or the Vilkis, so it loses access to multiversal abilities.
Well, like, I actually really like how Zero's defeated in the manga, where where Koji basically talks it down and says that, Zero, you don't need to go on a rampage anymore because Mazinger existed. Like, so many other great things came as a result of what it did. So, in a way, you're always going to be able to exist. That's not to say, like, every single mecha series out there has its DNA with Mazinger Z. It's rather, like, Mazinger Z, like, came out...
Because it's the first piloted mecha, it's ancestral to everything else.
Right.
And through those branches... Just by the way the Monster Zero was first created by its causal loop means that it connects to all of those intern branches metaphysically.
Laser Lord, I started watching Space Battleship Yamato and I'm having fun.
Hope it's the remake, or the remake's awesome. Not saying the original series is bad, it's just like the remake improves upon basically everything. It is the textbook definition of a good remake / adaptation.
On 556. I don't know if people already... I'm just only going to answer the last part of this. Also, Alexis, welcome to the Kisuke fandom. Yay! Seki. Like, honestly, the way, like, it makes it, like, explaining what Trails was, like, to me that made sense in my head, is that it's the JoJo's of RPG. Except instead of multi-decade generational gaps, it's like several year storyline kind of thing.
Okay, so watch the remake. Yeah, the remake is good. We have not seen T205 or 3199 simply because no access to them.
Golden Garo. I forgot if someone asked this in the past, but could Hibiki kill the Emperor in Zero since she's a god killer? Actually,
potentially just because of how Gungnir works in absorbing attacks and inflicting them back on those that absorb energy and inflict it back on the one who expelled it.
And also, if you want to include Simple Gear XCU lore into it, by the end of that game's run, Hibiki and Miku gained multiversal power. Yes, that is a thing that happened. They managed to somehow get multiverse level abilities.
Because the entire XDU thing is access to multiverse through a different relic.
Yes, which was called Gallarhorn. And so, like, if you take that into account, then yes, PvE could absolutely bop Zero. If not outright kill it, she could at least fight it to a standstill.
Yeah. The caveat there is that despite the mecha adaptive abilities of the gears, they're not actual mecha characters. So it's like they could appear in a Super Robot Wars game, but they'd still be a bit obtuse on them. It's like putting Cutie Honey in there. Cutie Honey is a cyborg, but it's just... Better example. It's like putting Yoko Littner without her mech in a battle there. It doesn't, like, quite fit. Granted, they had, Nanami No from Gunbuster 2 in one of the games, so that's not a complete thing, but she was a buster machine to begin with. She was a robot.
Yeah, and Techman Blade. I mean, he's not...
Suited armor, yeah, there as well.
I think, honestly, the reason why Simple Gear has bigger stock than appearing in a Robot Wars game is simply because 30 introduced Ultraman, like the manga Ultraman, into things, so, like, they're just regular human size wearing power armor, yet they have the power output to take on kaiju.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I'm not saying it can't ever happen. It's just there's probably systematic limitations on that, where if you get too loose with what you're doing, then it's hard to keep things cohesive. And I think the Ultraman angle for 30 was just brought in because of the ability to do so granted them by Gridman.
Terror of Death. Question: wouldn't Demon Bane also be able to put someone to fight against Mazinger Zero? Demon Bane's a whole other thing. I remember, like, many years ago...
I don't even know the beginning or ending of whatever Demon Bane is.
Long short of it is, it's another... like, I saw a video about it explaining what Demon Bane is, and even I have a hard time wrapping my head around it. All you need to know is that in terms of mecha power levels, it's the other one that is, like, ridiculous and gets near metafictional abilities. It's like, how did Pokemon lay eggs? Put a male and a female in the daycare center. Turn around, you turn left. Where did that egg come from?
Yes.
Where did the egg come from, guys?
Yes.
I can't...
Oh god, so many hours of trying to breed awesome Pokemon where I would just do this stretch back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to the alley. The specific pathway where
back and forth, back and forth.
Okay, so I mentioned puns earlier. Are you ready for some puns?
No.
Like a whole rodeo of puns?
No.
Still owning a dog.
No.
Let me speak. I am being silenced. So, did you know that owning a dog in the Great Depression was really hard? Some could say it was very rough. You want to hear any jokes about corn?
No.
What? They're amazing. Get it? Amaze?
About.
See, chat. Puns are amazing. Blue Sharky 38. Those vegetable jokes are too corny.
Josh McCullough, is your Monferno named after son Wukong? I mean, there are only so many good names you can do for the Chimchar line.
Darwin darlings.
I want to ask Romanov. I want to ask you plan on playing Legends EA, and if yes, do you already have plans for Pokemon Team? We do plan to buy it. We may not do Switch 2 just because of all the bullshit the tariffs are causing with that. And yes, the price issues with the Switch 2 are all 100% tariff caused. But for plans for the team, I want to get some of my Kalos exclusive Pokemon back. But for starters, I'm gonna go with Chikorita.
Totodile! The Totodile Empire. Actually, I'm really excited to see what like their third tier evolutions will be like, because Legends Arceus had like their 3 starters have like Cyndaquil, for example, right? It turned into a Ghost Fire Typhlosion. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. And it's like, I am definitely getting Tyrant as my Rocky Dragon. I am, of course, naming it Gabatira again, because that's what I did originally.
I did too, I think.
Yeah, and then I am definitely getting Honedge. I love those things.
Oh, Honedge! Yeah, okay, Kalos gave us Honedge, and that says Aegislash.
Yeah.
Or
you don't even need a double evolve to evolve into its final form. You just give it Eviolite, and it does the same thing. Like, you can go full Aegislash, you don't have to, and I like that.
Like, yeah, because it isn't like Dub Sword or something?
Double Edge.
Double Edge, yeah. Double Edge?
Its ability changes when it evolves. Romanov, we still don't know if the stars in ZA will get regional variants or mega forms. There was a leak, they are getting mega forms.
I can't wait for the Mega Beam. I just want Violante Meganium.
Ben66, how happy do you think Game Freak is that Pokemon Horizon is popular and loved by the fandom, that they don't have to rely on Ash anymore? Very good. Like, we were saying for a while that Ash needed to finally win, and I think with them finally doing that, it allowed the variety to just give a new lead for the storyline that would allow them to have different motivations and team-ups that didn't... Because Pikachu had long worn out its welcome, and them screwing over Ash or him being stupid for no reason, like, that wasn't working anymore. It's like... And I don't expect them to, like, need to retire each, lead of the series after any generation. You can have, if you have strong enough characters, you can keep them around for a bit.
And plus, like, when you stick around for, like, with one character for so long, the amount of stories you can really do with them dwindles by the day. And it again, at some point, it just becomes ridiculous to make up reasons for why that character can't progress in the natural way a character should.
Citric King, I keep hearing it's both Nintendo themselves and the tariffs combined is causing all this nonsense. The original announced price of the Switch 2 was planned through the existing tariffs that had already been put in place in Wave 1 of Trump's nonsense. So that initial $450 price point, that was the expectation of what the tariffs were originally. Then Trump shit the bed. And tackling them on everything, because what Nintendo was planning on was they would move most of their productions out of China to avoid Trump's idiocy, and into Vietnam. Then Trump slammed Vietnam in the first wave and slammed them even harder in the second and subsequent third waves before he dialed it back to 10%. That is the entire reason why Nintendo redacted their pre-orders, because they don't know anymore what the price should actually be with accounting for tariffs. Companies are coming out left and right and saying our price increases are directly because of Donald Trump's tariffs. Hell, I brought this up, I believe, in a previous stream about the Bamboo Labs H2D, their new expensive, larger than their previous model's 3D printer. And I want everyone watching this to go to Bamboo Labs' website and look at what the price for that is right now. Because the H2D combo, which is the one with a multi-material AMS system, it's currently priced at $2,699. When it was first announced, when it first went up for pre-order, that specific set was $2,100. It has gone up $600 in cost because of the tariffs. Directly because of the tariffs. That's a $2,000 machine. So divide that number by 4. Divide that $600 by 4. So something in the $500 range, the $400 range, it's getting tacked on $150. So if you see like the Switch prices come back at $600, that is all tariffs. Because you can't make those things in America, there's not the infrastructure for it. And even if someone says, oh, well, the tariffs will encourage them to get manufacturing in America, that's the thing. They'll still cost more. And it'll take 5 years of time to actually put all of that manufacturing in a specific location in place. It is not an easy thing to move productions to areas where they don't have the experience, the buildings for that, because if you're dealing with electronics, you need specific circumstances, specific cleanliness just when you're building the circuitry. And barely anything in America can actually do that, let alone addressing the entire cost of production to pay people proper wages, which we don't even get here, but other countries have worse, and in a lot of areas for it. So yeah, even as Justin said it, we don't even have the needed resources in the country. Exactly. So everything Trump is doing is making this worse. Hell, even the Switch 2's decision to use rare earth magnets for the clip-on, that is unneeded. That is very unneeded, but it's a nice feature, especially because rare earth magnetic materials are more common these days because they found a few decent mines. But that's still an import cost because not everybody has rare earth magnetizable metal mines. Or things that are like specifically of the specific rare composition of iron to be so easily magnetized like that. I'm explaining this badly, but this is why ever since the announcement, the original price was tariffs, and the price increase that is coming when they open pre-orders will also be tariffs.
In chat, if you're wondering why is our country run by mad people?
Oxygen shipping, and let's not forget tax and shipping. That's the other thing people miss. Tariffs are a tax on the business and consumer for buying an import good. The tariffs in no way impact the country they're placed on. They're placed on what you buy from them. So it is a direct tax on you. And it's technically on the company that does the importing, but that tariff is always passed on to the consumer directly.
So that was a very heavy conversation.
It was inevitable because we're playing a Nintendo game. Oh, and that's the other thing. Both the Bamboo Labs and the printer and the Switch 2, they're not manufactured in China right now. This is just runoff from that, where think about things that are actually from China right now, where the tariff rate is 145%. You will pay more than double what it was originally to get things that are made in China, and you don't even realize how many things you own that were manufactured in China. You don't even know the number of foodstuffs that have additives in it. Like, anything that is vitamin enriched right now, like if you buy multivitamin orange juice, that's going to double in price. If you need multivitamins, they're going to double in price. People really don't realize how globally integrated just everything is, which is going to make us be out of hand paying more than we really should be. Just because one man at the top is an idiot and everyone else is a sycophant, just letting him be.
I have nothing to really stay on top of all that because that was extreme. That was
It's a lot, and it's why doing Persona 5 last year was practically prophetic. And there's a reason I got in the chapter lists of those videos. You see me kind of start going, how did you fuck this up? In reality, and why I was emphasizing the story takes place in 2016, because it was predictive. It really was.
That's the thing about Pokemon movies that always bothered me. They're either really good, or you have to ask, when would I ever use this?
Earlier, this made me realize people are blaming Nintendo for the price of Switch 2 when they should be blaming you know who. Yeah, because the people blaming Nintendo for the Switch 2 prices are the same incels that helped put Trump back in office. So they're literally not realizing this is because of you. And it's part of this entire modern mindset to not take responsibility for your own actions because you don't see their macroscopic impacts. You only think on the immediate short term of just everything. It's like the Taylor Swift song. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Yes, you're the problem. And your actions are impacting the rest of us. But you don't want to see it because you want to play the victim. And that's kind of one of the worst things about YouTube and that mentality, because you go off half-cocked, reactionary, and then you don't realize, okay, there's more going on here that macroscopically you might only be adding to. It's why I did the Sinnoh series videos the way I did with Sinnoh Saga, because a lot of what went wrong there also had fan impact as well, wrapping around with how Soraya Saga just did not ever come back to the Sinnoh series because of the fan hate she got. Outside of, designing a couple characters to play too. And you see that again with Power Rangers, where no one identified Mark Harris was the problem with the fight scenes, so Mark Harris kept to keep his job and make the Power Rangers original fight scenes terrible to its current end. You can't fix a problem without knowing what the cause was. Also, what I hate about people hitting on Nintendo for Switch 2 prices is they didn't shit on the Sony for the PS5 Pro prices. Like, the most they complained about was not including the disc drive, not the massive price increase for a minor processor improvement. Because, as we've also forgotten, the cost of processors and a lot of electronic components went through the roof because of the NFT, crypto, and AI bullshit idiots. because the market there is about to collapse because they banked on all these get-rich-quick schemes and none of them panned out. So even computer electronic prices are really bad right now.
Get away from subjects.
It keeps coming up in the chat, that's why I keep having to bring him up.
It's really bringing me down.
Yeah. It's like, all of these issues are a problem, and if you don't recognize them, you don't get to ID which companies are doing better. Nintendo was trying to be better. They're obviously doing a lot of improvements over the normal Switch. Inflation would have priced it appropriately at $400. Then the electronics expenses and tariffs kind of screwed that over. But Nintendo are the least guilty of all that nonsense. Something the Ash teases at the anime do that annoy me is not let Ash evolve certain Pokemon events. Almost all of them would have benefited greatly from evolving, such as Oshawott and Weasel. Double 2. Have the anime end by having Ash's Pikachu finally evolve. It would kind of be funny if Pikachu evolved without needing a Thunderstone.
Actually, that's a question. Like, imagine giving evolutions of Pokemon, like, how should I do with this? Like, you give a Firestone to a Ninetale, to a Vulpix to make it Ninetales, right?
And an Ice Stone when it's the Alola variant, yeah.
Right. Or no, you mean Legacy. Or the Alola variant, yeah, duh. Sorry.
Oh, no, yeah,
I was thinking
you said Vulpix Ninetales.
Yeah, but anyways, what if, like, a Vulpix could evolve by levels? You know,
it's just really rare for some reason.
Yeah, like, or rather, like, it evolves by levels, but if you do it that way, like, make it, like, say, it evolves at level 50, but if you do that, then it becomes, like, an even more powerful fox. Right?
Where it has a second different condition that it has to be active for it to evolve by leveling, like, say, a hold item.
Right.
Or a hold item in high friendship.
Like, you're befriending the fox guys.
Mm-hmm. But just friendship doesn't work. Or if you have this item on it, maybe it's an item that does damage or something. Say like, puts burn status on it. Because
like the flame orb.
Yeah. Like, have it bubble up with the flame orb. It's like, why would you do that? Well, if that contrasts the high friendship stat. So it's like, it has to be very specific conditions, but are still doable to have it evolve by levels. Yeah, take a hot take. I like Raichu more than Pikachu. It's better in all ways. Kinda, yeah. I'm not gonna debate that.
Alolan Raichu's the best.
The only reason to not evolve your Pikachu these days are just because of the Light Ball hold item that gives Pikachu the stats of a Raichu without evolving.
Yeah, you already said Alolan Raichu's the best because it evolves because it loves pancakes.
Yeah.
Or at least the Hawaiian pastry equivalent of pancakes, and it's like, man, imagine evolving to a higher state of being because you love a pastry so much.
Also, it surfs.
Like
it puts that whole surfing Pikachu thing full circle. Romanov, honestly, I hate evolution by trade because I have no one to trade with. Yes, exactly. The game has encouraged trading with other players because version-exclusive Pokemon, it's always been that way. But there reaches a point where the trade-only evolutions become insufferable. Especially when it's something really, really good.
And they always, like, block your progress with cleaning the Pokédex, right?
Yeah. Like, again, another reason why I want to actually finish these games up is because, so that way we'll have basically everything accessible through just trading. Because Alexis completed the Paldea Pokédex as her first Pokédex completion.
Yep.
Whereas the only ones I have not done are Alola and Galar. But there are, due to Pokemon Home going down with 3DS games, it's hard to import over anything else. So, honestly, what Legends ZA in the next Pokemon game should be doing is just making everything that was Pokemon ever in the series available on the Switch. If they're just gonna have everything hard locked off. Trailers, at this point, they should put in an item that lets trade evolution Pokemon evolve, call it a trade table or something. I think some ROM hacks have an item like that. And some Pokemon that had trading with a hold item as a requirement have the item become just use on the Pokemon. Yeah, that is a thing already. The way to make it fair, though, would be you trade it for if you wanted to evolve early, and then make it a, like, post-Elite Four thing for people who just want to complete the Pokedex. Then again, online access or trading with people wirelessly is somewhat easier these days.
Yeah. It's just back in the day, like, it was, like, if you didn't know a friend who had a Pokemon and it had a link cable and all that jazz, you were screwed.
I think just the problem with that is just population density in Japan, where it's easy, versus elsewhere, where it's situational. And just the Nintendo game maker is not always accounting for that. Because when you look back, they've kind of been big on the party game experience ever since the N64, which is fair. We do have the right number of people for it.
Apparently, Sir Chapman rightly saying.
No.
If I'm being honest, like, seeing all the news lately, it's hard not to, like...
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, and it's, like, not fun to, like, log into stuff to see what's going on, and then it's nothing but...
Yeah. Honestly, on that, it's better to be informed than be blindsided.
Yeah, but it's also the, like, but how much you look at without going mad.
Yeah, it's like, I'm on Blue Sky consistently now, but I've not been posting a lot on Blue Sky because just, I've been trying to not be in a bubble, but get other things done. Like, I haven't even updated my... I'm reviewing everything I have a physical copy of in the house list in a month, just because I've been off of social media whenever I'm in the house. Speaking of evolution, I recently realized something. Mega Evolution is super cool, yet super limited. Only a few Pokemon get it. At least in Alola, Galar, and Paldea, Pokemon can use the region's gimmick. Which is not wrong, but you have to also remember that Mega Evolution is, on top of it being powerful, it required a completely re-engineering of the sprites, so it's like you're designing a different Pokemon. With Dynamaxing, not a lot of Pokemon, when they went big, had a complete redesign of what they were, and the amount of Gigantamax was very limited, more limited than what was being done with Mega Evolutions. Mega Evolutions take time to do, so it can't be everything that gets one. And the fact that they practically doubled the amount of Megas when they went into Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, it showed they weren't just abandoning it, but the need to create all those Megas to emphasize older Pokemon again, alongside the newer stuff, that ate into the time budget for making new Pokemon. And so one of the things people irritated Kalos over was just the reduction in new Pokemon in that generation as well. And it's like, there's an internal reason for that. You got Megas because of that reduction, but there are definitely people who would have preferred not to get the Megas if they got more new original Pokemon. It's a give and take thing. Now there's something to mention with Mega Evolution, most of the games don't appreciate Pokemon to breathe new life to them for competitive play. Yes, and I liked a lot of the ones they did that for. Mega Heracross, Mega Pinsir, stuff like that. And you had a few fan favorites as well, like with the likes of Mega Gyarados. Mega Steelix? I think Steelix got one.
Mega Salamence?
Yeah. Not everything hit the best, but there was definite effort and creativity there.
But also, let's not forget the terror of the Mega Ultra Chicken.
Yeah. The first easily accessible speed boost Blaziken. Before, you could get items to swap Pokemon abilities. Yeah, Kalos is definitely a give and take experience, and I think it would have gone over better with people had it just had some post game.
Because it's like you catch the Zygarde and that's it.
Yeah.
Or no, you catch Zygarde and Mewtwo.
And the abused Mewtwo.
Yeah, and then...
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. It's like...
Granted, I was working heavily at that point in time, so I think the reason why I'm not as against Kalos as others is because I didn't have the spare time between my day job and doing the show, so I wasn't one of those people that was that invested in a deep time-consuming post-game because I didn't have the time beyond just collecting all the Mega Stones. That was the third thing you could do as post-game, just collect the remaining Mega Stones that weren't available in the earlier parts of the game.
Yeah. It's just when you look at, like, what the past 5 games did.
Also, Des, if I could play an ADHD speech therapist for a second, I have ADHD, so that's why I worded it like that. Are you able to say bow, like from Zatch Bell? Do you mean like bow is a Karga? Because I can say that just fine. If I talk fast, it's something I do. I don't know why I do it sometimes. Like, I get on a tangent and I'm trying to get everything I want to say out of my head before I lose the train of logic I run with. When I write, that's easier for me to not do as much because it's on the page by the time I'm speaking it. But it's why I love my lines a lot when I do just anything. Otherwise, I start stumbling and stuttering and forget what word I want to use mid-sentence, and it gets insufferable. And that's not exactly something that might require speech therapy, because it's just thought to mouth recitation. I almost said resuscitation by accident.
It's like, wait, you're resuscitating? Are you dead? Programs.
Yes, this frustrating thing with it is always like, I have other fighting and psychic types in the party, so there's
it's a poison type.
yeah, I have other things in the party that take up the slots I would put it in, which usually if I'm gonna have a poison type, I'd rather put a fighting and psychic type in that same slot. So it always loses out.
Even though it's like Dr. Croak's actually pretty solid.
Yeah. Because this is the generation where one of the best starters, due to the limitations of the amount of fire-type Pokemon you get, it's either Ponyta or the starter, which is also fighting, so it loses out there on fighting, and also Lucario.
Oh, yeah. It's a little Jirachi had a headbutt.
But it's already, at bare minimum, 2 other fighting types it's fighting for a place for. So if you put a third one in, then your type balance is all skewed. So this is the wrong generation for it to have debuted because it'll always lose out to other things.
Oh, in terms of videos I'm gonna watch later, one of the interesting topic came up. This video, that the channel I follow posted. Gyro's definitely from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 versus the first two parts and how well he would do. Like, no stanchion yet, because in parts. Okay, I'm gonna get on a JoJo tangent here, folks. Like, he has his tangents, let me get on mine. So, in the first two parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the power system was Hamon, basically a breathing technique that channeled the power of the sun through the user's blood to create like light waves from your fist, right?
Yes, because you all shall bow to the Lord of Strike and Thunder.
Yeah. But basically, that was the power system. It was essentially analogous to the power of life itself, and that was the power system for the first two parts. Then Araki said, "I am very limited with this power set. Actually, I'm going to do stands now." So in part 7, he actually split the difference, and while stands exist in the Steel Ball Run universe, in part 7 particularly, we have the spin.
The spin.
Basically, it's like Hamon, only you actually use these steel balls that you can like chuck at people or the environment around you and channel light energy that way.
Okay, so that's why they call it the Steel Ball Run.
Well, yeah, the Steel Ball Run is like the name of the overall race because you have to have steel balls to actually complete it, but it's a double meaning kind of thing. But anyways, could Gyrocephaly, the main user of the spin in this part 7, could he survive everything the parts 1 and 2 had to throw at him? That means he's fighting against Dio and the Pillarman.
I mean, that's kind of a hard sell.
Like, but the thing is about the Pillarmen is, what people forget, is that they're hyper-intelligent. Like, we're talking, they could look at you for 5 seconds and go, "Oh, I understand your language." Or, "Oh, I know how this gun works now." So, in theory, like, in fact, at the end of part 2, Cars managed to evolve into the ultimate life form, so he learned how to use Hamon himself. So therefore, there's the implication: could Cars either learn how to use a stand, or you know what I'm
Considering the stands technically come from that virus, if his body could assimilate that virus to gain
right?
Or would his evolution have ironically made him unable to access the stand because it would evolve immunity to the virus?
Well, like, the thing is, like, the virus was one way of the stance came about. The other way is if you just have that much inherent fighting spirit. Like, so...
Well, if that's the case, wouldn't they have gotten them already?
Well, that's the thing, like, they probably didn't understand they could do that, you know? Because, a cheap example of that inner fighting spirit thing is actually the character of Tonio from part 4. His stand Pearl Jam. Yes, really. He didn't even realize he had a stand, and it's just that he was so passionate about his love for cooking that it manifested a stand. And by the way, what Pearl Jam does is literally create healthy dishes for you that cure your ailments. So, like, if you have a bad back or bad teeth, or you have bags in your eyes, Pearl Jam will help fix it for you. But it only manifests through the cooking that Tonio does. Did you know that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is pretty freaking bizarre when you say it out loud?
Bizarre Adventure like that? No. I got the fist plate. There's only one Pokemon it can go on.
DJ Toku, the fact that Part 7 did not have a stand called Dead or Alive is a tragedy. If you know, you know. Phantom 66, wasn't there a living krill colony that got a stand that let them pretend to be human? Ah, yes, you're actually thinking about Foo Fighters, who was a colony of plankton that gained sentience thanks to a standis given to them by the user Enrico, the priest Pucci from part 6 of JoJo. And the thing is, Food Fighters was originally supposed to be an attack guard, essentially. Like, oh no, you can't get near this thing that I was assigned to protect. Thing is, what happens when you give a bunch of organisms sentience is that they start learning to think and feel for themselves, to the point where they actually develop their own, like, personality. You know what?
Yeah.
Oh, Food Fighters, you didn't deserve what happened to you. Moral of the story, folks, is that if you're ever in a church and then a weird blonde vampire man starts talking to you, try to run in the other direction. Don't listen to that man. That is Dio. You don't listen to Dio.
It's actually also a funny effect. I kind of refer to it as the Dio effect, where there are a bunch of blonde, effeminate vampires in Japanese fiction now that inevitably gain time-stopping abilities.
Because they saw one pretty vampire man do it once, and then suddenly everybody wants to do it. DJ Chuku, and let's not forget about the shape-shifting alien, rock people, and Jesus. Ah yes, my favorite part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the fact that Jesus canonically exists. And yeah, Jesus went to America, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened.
So much of it actually bad.
Black Century King, and let's not forget the stand, Superfly, and Heiya. Yeah, Heiya is a funny stand because you know what its power is? It's positive reinforcement. As in, like, it tells the user, hey, why don't you go over to this path over here, and then the user takes that path, and then good fortune happens. So it's debatable as to whether or not it's actually manipulating reality itself to bring about good luck to the user, or is it the user getting filled with so much positive energy that luck just happened. They keep rolling that 20. I also been trying to get into Pokemon Horizon. So far it's pretty fun, but it made me want to play the Scarlet and Violet games. Like, I understand that maybe people aren't going to be impressed with the graphics. And Scarlet and Violet do have moments of like the game being wonky, but the overall story and gameplay benefits that or inclusions that Scarlet and Violet did do, I think are massively needed. Like, no longer do you have to worry about only a Pokemon knowing 4 moves. If you ever just want your Pokemon to remember a move, you can just access it whenever you want.
Now, there are a few times where I'd say I enjoyed a Pokemon game as much as I did just journeying and adventuring through Paldea.
And then, like, you know, honestly, I love how all the character sites, like, all the stories in Paldea, all connected back to each other in some way. And, like, then there was the final dungeon run where you go to the Area 0 and, like, you see all those future and past Pokemon, which I love that idea because it's like you're glimpsing into something you're not supposed to, right? Like, you know what past Jigglypuff does to you? If past Jigglypuff attacks you, you become a Jigglypuff. It's terrifying.
Horus.
Horus?
Oh, musical Horus?
Yeah. What happened to Dave? Dave?
Dave's not here, man. Seriously, no.
Fair of Death, I still think Joseph should have had a punching ghost stand instead of Hermit Purple. That's the funny thing. Like, while Joseph Joestar was known as, like, the brawler of Part 2, the other thing people, like, you don't realize about the character is that he was a masterful tactician in terms of battle, like, always learning how to screw with his enemies' expectations and perception of things. So, him having a stand where he's able to, like, foresee either, not necessarily future events, but divine where to go or see images from far away and stuff, like, you know, information gathering, basically, that makes sense, actually. Because stands aren't about, like, who can punch the hardest. It's, like, how do they reflect the user's personality and fighting spirit? Because there have been many characters in JoJo where, like, they look physically strong, but their stands are just cowardly. And that's not to say Hermit Purple couldn't evolve into a point where it got in a more humanoid state, but by the point Joseph got Hermit Purple, he was already an old man, so he probably didn't quite have it in him to, like, do that. Oh, and for the record, my favorite stands in JoJo are Golden Experience and The Wonder of You. Yeah, and I love Wonder of You simply for what it thematically represents, but also just how insanely busted it is.
One shot from kill.
Okay, but when we ever do face off in this game, we have to have our electric kitty fight. So, Chad, when I caught my female Shinx last night, it has the ability Rivalry, where if it's going up against a different gender Pokemon, then it doesn't do it as much damage. But when she's going up against somebody of her same gender, then the attack power is doubled. So basically, a literal cat fight. I think.
Yeah. I never expect Ice Fang and a Gyarados this early. Josh McCulloch, you've asked that question 3 times. I don't do Nuzlocks. Some of the Nuzlocke have been nice, but the actual practice of it, that's not for me.
Black Century King. My fave stands are Hierophant Green and Crazy Diamond, Echoes, Gold Experience, Sweet Blues, and Spice Girls. All good choices. Hey Toku, theirs is Tusk and Soft and Wet. Also fair. Tusk is a fun one. It's evolved. Mikoto's evolving into Mega Beauty. must be like when Mikoto meets and kind of throws a whole in. I would just agree that Luxray is an amazing designed Pokemon.
Yeah.
Its eyes has they can see through anything. It spots and captures prey hiding behind objects.
Probably the same. Every time you killed Nuzlocke, I've had people explain it to me and still it doesn't click with me. Yeah, the entire idea behind Nuzlocke is trying to create a hard mode for a game that, by design, is not supposed to have a hard mode. Like, okay, impose rules, I get it, but that shouldn't be the standard of how you play. If the game is becoming boring for you because you've played it so much, then, like, maybe consider playing other things as well. Like, yeah, Pokemon doesn't have a lot of equivalents out there. The most is the Digimon World Series, but like branch out, broaden your horizons. Okay, I'll counterpoint to that. You might not have the money, or you might not be interested in the other options. Okay, that's fine, but you don't really need to do this to yourself.
Honestly, like, if there was one rule from Nuzlocke that I would take into a regular playthrough, like if I was that crazy, is I like the concept of whatever the first Pokemon you encounter on a route is, that is the Pokemon you have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't keep the once they're KO'd for good, but I like the idea of.
But it's like train the first one from a region. I'm okay with that one as as a personal rule. So it's like you build different teams in the areas where you have like more variety and selection, but there's a lot of where you just end up encountering the same stuff.
Century King, the Luxury line should have been Electric Dark. Fair, considering like it learns Fight and Crunch
because it's a quadrupedal Pokemon. A lot of quadrupedal Pokemon, not just Dark types, or there was.
True. But I do think having it be Electric Dark would be like at least let it have that stab, you know?
With its colorization, I kind of get that.
You want to go to the department store and be full of dreams?
No. You know why? Because it's on the boulevard.
You just green
Boulevard of Poké Trees, yes.
This son of a gun just green date me. Hey, by the way, do you have the time?
No, wait.
No, do you have the time to listen to me? Why?
No. No.
He doesn't let me have any fun. I am a prisoner. I cannot say puns in this house. I am offended. Hey, look, you got a way to count things.
Yes, we got it for the counter.
You see, like, those girls actually take up bodybuilding because they want to be counterfeit. Get it? The day you acknowledge my pun's existence is the day I will grow infinitely in power.
Ooh, thunder. And it's a rainy area. You remember what that does? When it's raining and a Pokemon uses thunder,
100%.
100% accuracy.
Yeah, I know.
Or Thunderbolt. Psychic, Dazzling Gleam. I'll come back for some of these because I don't want to completely burn my money just to have access to some techniques earlier.
DJ Toku, did Death just pun?
You will ponder that question for a long time.
Ponder that question?
No.
What do you mean no? Stop denying me. Acknowledge me!
No.
Acknowledge me!
Alexis has started our villain arc.
I was already on my villainous arc. I started my villainous arc when Pizza Hut got rid of their garlic knots, okay?
Alexis, don't you realize all routes lead to doom?
No! I am this close to coming over there with the pillow. Don't make me do it. I see the smirks in his face, the cracks in his armor. I know I can crack him. You will be broken.
You know what I wish they would do with the elevators? Just when you go up to it, you'd ask what floor you want to go to. Just don't. You don't need the whole separate elevator room.
I want to lift this boulder, but I don't think I have the HM04 to do it. DJ Toku, wait, you're on an arc? I thought you were already a full-fledged villain. Yeah, I'm already a full-fledged villain. I'm clearly the most useless girl in the world. Duh. Think I get all these puns from heaven? No.
Ah, yes, the Deoxys meteors. Yeah, you make contact with those and you put Deoxys into any of its forms. I like that they added that.
I love Deoxys, by the way. I legitimately think Deoxys is a really cool Pokemon because it is just a straight up alien. Like, no, like, question or mystery. It is just straight up outer space alien that is here to eat you. Or blow you up. Or whatever Deoxys do. Oh, you ready to accessorize? Cyber style?
How expensive.
Well, yeah, fashion is expensive. Fashion. Turn to the left. Fashion. How much is everything priced here? If you have to ask, you're too poor. So yeah, the lore of this house is that I am a demon that was summoned by death. I'm already the full-fledged villain. If he ever acknowledges my puns, I will gain massive amount of power. And at some point I died in a snow drift, but I got better. Is that about summing up?
Yeah.
You ever regret summoning a demon? You just had that pros and cons head shake.
Yes, and?
Yeah, I know, I'm annoying.
Toku, question, is Deoxys an alien that's a Pokemon or an alien Pokemon? Yes.
We're gonna absolutely body a gym.
Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh. I like Maylene.
No, yeah, she's fun. You're never gonna make me hate the Punch Girl.
Now watch me body half of this gym because I have 2 Pokemon with psychic moves in it.
Speaking of people who use legendary Pokemon in like league matches.
Yes, but this is game mechanics, not anime. Anime Janai.
Anime Janai! Anime Janai! Macho scares me with his expulsive arm.
It's big, meaty thighs. Realizing that before I challenged the gym, I should have gotten Swablu back in the party.
Oh well.
Like, I can go back for it.
Also, my current plan is that wherever we end our stream, that's where I'll that's where I will
Play up to. Yeah?
Yep. No, so when I stopped playing this morning, I just beat Gardenia. So wherever we stop here, that's where I'll progress up to.
Then go back and get my Swablu. I got a wall yet for this. One. Realize I put Eldine back on. Nope. Pretty weaker?
Probably.
Not actually learned no flying type move, but power. Whatever Dragon Breath is.
Yeah, it'll learn. But, I mean, it's a fluffy cloudbird. Are you gonna tell me that fluffy cloudbirds aren't adorable as crap?
Ah, here we are. Pluck.
Sort of luck and pluck.
And I have multiple copies of it, so this is perfect.
Or do safeguard.
Yeah.
Okay, a move I can see horrible when you're playing the main game. Like, isn't it, like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's more tournament move than anything.
Yeah.
I also have no Roost. That will be useful later, because the Altaria Roost combo, like, that's deadly.
Yeah. here's a question for you. Your favorite Pokemon of all time, right? Your favorite Digimon of all time. You can only choose one.
That's mean.
It is? I'm asking you to choose between a Torchic or a Guillemon. Could you do it?
You know what's actually funny? Picture of Lucario versus Renamon.
Yeah, that was a popular death battle.
They actually did that?
Yeah, they actually did that one.
Huh. How long until the egg hatches? A while. Around 556. You can buy some good TMs in the department store.
They must have missed
They
that
must
part.
have just missed that. We were there already, and I decided not to buy anything just because I didn't want to completely exhaust my currency supply. Dude, Choco, what's the max level you can control? Currently 30, but if you have high friendship, they still obey you anyways. It's just with stuff you get immediately that no friendship, and if it's over that level limit, then it's not going to obey. I have never once had issues with a Pokemon not obeying, even if it was above the level limit, after they introduced the friendship mechanic. Aw, look at this little fluffy cloud bird, Dragon Breath.
Oh, there goes that plan. Oh, the fact that you got body.
Oh, yeah. I can run back to the Pokemon Center. Not a big deal. Not 556, since that Machoke likely has guts, it's a good thing you didn't paralyze it.
Oh yeah, Guts is one of those weird ones where when you inflict a status condition on it, like it gets a boost.
Ironically, if Code Geass characters had Pokemon, I'd figure Millie would have it, Machoke.
Yeah, no, I can see it.
Like, not just the guts spell, but like, it can handle Lelouch.
It's
It's
like-
like funny.
That would be funny. It's like, well, Lucius is shirking his students again. Machoke? Machoke. You know what to do. Machoke.
Yeah.
And then you just hear the distance.
Like, that is one crossover I've never seen Pokemon and Code Geass.
It's like under the magic in the distance, Lelouch yelling, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, let me go!" And like the Machoke barely has to lift him up because he's such a twig. You realize a counter with a blaze again would be deadly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He has a Blaziken and a Baneri.
I would figure Lelouch would be psychic types or things that take a long time to evolve. Because, you know, come into your own properly.
Yeah. And he also has an Absol.
Yeah, I see that one.
the state Pokemon government like funds all these gyms, or do they?
Yeah, it's like they get money from the trainers. Death, didn't you just buy a ton of revives? Yes, and I don't want to use them. They're for when I'm out training in the wilderness and I need to revive something, not when I can just run to the Pokemon Center to heal.
Hey, take advantage of free healthcare while you can, people.
Like, that's always my logic with these games. I'm not gonna burn my money and waste it if I can help it. The only reason I bought so many Pokeballs the way I did was just because I didn't have access to better stuff at the time.
What would dumbass get?
Ooh. Granados.
Yeah, because it's, you know, it's hard-headed.
Headbutt.
Headbutt.
It only knows one thing, headbutt.
Headbutt. It's like, what's going on? Headbutt. Count Pokemon team. Okay. Blaziken. Baneri. I'm not sure why. I kind of see her with a Mawile. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like the thing that kind of looks scary, but it's actually really cute when you.
Escaranda.
Escaranda, yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I figured that for a Lelouch Pokemon as well.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Meowscaranda is actually a Lelouch's Pokemon, but it likes to give flowers to Callan. Like a tuxedo mask kind of thing.
Blade? That would be a good
Yeah,
choice.
Blade would also be a good choice.
Yeah, who funds these is definitely a thing like the Pokemon League, just because they gotta get a lot of viewership in when they have actual tournaments, and thus they need to create the environment where Pokemon are being trained appropriately. That's what the gyms can judge. Kanto Ninetales or Alolan Ninetales for Callan? Why not both?
Yeah, both. She runs both. It's like you would think, wait, isn't doubling up with fire types a bad idea? Which I say, watch Callan do magic.
What fire types?
No,
No, wait, Ninetales and Blaziken, yeah, never mind. Lelouch would have the Lucario, though.
Yeah, Lula. It'd be really okay. I love that idea because like Lelouch is such a twink, but Lucario is a.
Like it would be Riolu initially, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
but then it has the potential for greatness, and then
Right.
go Zero, and then you have the Lucario, and then everything is mixed because this guy has an asshole. Lucario, what is? He's kind of mixing his messages, and then you realize, no wait, the messages aren't mixed. They're saying the same thing.
Oh, pay attention and learn some literacy. I actually like this puzzle. It's like a sliding door. It's like a sliding door puzzle, but it's not.
Instead of Blaziken, Callan has Infernape.
Like no, you see, Infernape sounds nice, but I don't know. I want to give the best girl like the best chicken.
I would figure Din Che would have the Infernape.
Yeah.
That fits better.
Cornelia has a glam meow.
Yeah. And then Euphemia would have the Roselia.
Yeah. She would be the fairy type user. Like she has the Roserade, but I can see her with the oh, she has a Sylveon.
I forgot to heal Swamp Blue, that's on me.
You let a Cloudbird die! How dare you?
Any Monferai.
Who's that?
Right. Like,
That's the choke. Who?
Slowking.
Who are we talking about? Like when people talk about that one girl from Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. Her name? Got the blank. Man, I feel like I'm forgetting something important. It probably wasn't important if I forgot it.
Here, Crystal, someone said your Infernape should have been fire electric because of the whole Wukong analogy. What do you think? Fire electric seems like a bit of a type overlap.
Yeah, but I
don't have any fire electric types.
no, we don't. So I can understand the logic there. Okay, I would rather to have him be fire and electric and be weird like that than be another firefighting, because like Blaziken being firefighting, that was cool. Infernape being firefighting, that was alright. Then we get an Emborg, which is
Yeah, that's the one that's too far.
but I get why they did that, because when you have a firefighting, a water steel, and a grass ground, there's like a third tree that balances them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I screwed up this puzzle. I needed to go through that first. No, I couldn't have gotten through there. I need to go around and out. This is one of the easier ones to mess up. I think the lead resets the puzzle. Now 5 minutes extra time often. I thought that was Ghost Fire.
Aldrin Zevon, what? Aldrin, yeah, Aldrin would have the Aegis Slash.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen her nightmare? It's like soars for days.
Okay, yeah, I did reset the puzzle. There we go. I have the tires here as well. It's just because that's a martial arts gimmick.
Or martial arts gimmick.
It is, because like I see so much martial arts movies that where you just get a tire.
All these tires are totally weak. Now, who's playing Yu-Gi-Oh? What are you playing in the Yu-Gi-Oh deck?
I see him possibly playing that, but there's a lot you could do with him. Different decks you could have him do. Red Ice, for example.
Oh, yeah.
That could also be a Callan deck.
Real question is who's playing Blue Eyes?
I think that'd be a restriction. Yeah. Sounds like you gave Lelouch the Magicians.
Yeah. And DJ, Tangent, what did you want to fit the Code Geass cast?
I would like Lelouch to be partnered with one that evolves into Royal Knights. Playing the irony there.
Maybe the one that turns into Alphamon? The Royal Knight, right?
Dorumon would fit, yeah. Plus, you know, his thematic storyline where he resents Yggdrasil and thus, you know, that them eventually facing off against the Sword of Akasha, that fits.
Man, that Swablu is gone.
Gibbs as good as they get.
Yeah, like that thing is. I think it's because it's attacking the dragon type first, then the.
Then I haven't trained as many Blue as much, so it doesn't have the EVs the others do.
Oh, John 556 and Ryudomon for Callan.
Yeah,
Line up Sukomon for Suzaku.
let's not do that. Like, not that I'm saying Suzaku doesn't deserve to be crapped on, it's just like, that wouldn't fit.
Maybe one of the Royal Knights that likes to betray people.
The funniest moment in the Pokemon anime will always be Lucario bone rushing Pikachu. Or Aileen just going straight up, I'm in danger.
What's Ryudomon?
Probably spelled it wrong. They're probably referring to Oryumon, the Digimon that becomes a giant sword for Alphamon. Ourryuon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see it. Oryumon. Yeah, so that way, like, Oryumon can become Lelouch's sword. Yeah. Oh snap! It's Lucario.
Yeah. Attack and defense rose. Bulk up is a surprisingly good ability.
It didn't flinch. It was just like it probably did this.
And then it straight up Drain Punch.
Maybe it doesn't.
Drain Punch is powerful. It's a top tier move.
Yeah. We got This is where I feel like Maylene actually like becomes a really competent fight because
Yeah. Like, and as far as Poison don't work on Lucario because Steel type. And Giga Drain doesn't work well on Lucario because Steel type.
damn.
Now probably get away from this one.
Just knocked you out of the way like. According to John 5.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, yeah. No, little buddy?
I think if I lose, I don't lose.
Oh, thank God. If it come on Ryu, say you can do it.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Come on!
Oh my.
It's the one!
Oh! Oh man, we knew it was. I felt like something was coming. Oh. You gotta do it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it lived. Oh. I love that. I love it when Pokemon does that detail. It's like I don't want to make you feel sad. Now you gotta heal it. Fun on you. These things just do. Oh God, I'm flashing back to Build Tank.
Again, Miltank generally isn't that bad. It uses one move and that's it. Whereas this Lucario, it's statted so well to combine its abilities.
I think what happened with people is that once it got to that, and then if you did manage to whittle its HP down, that's when like Whitney would use like a potion on it. You know? So now it comes down to this.
Question of how many times can you use Drain Punch, and that's it.
I would have used fire move.
And it wouldn't have completely killed it either way.
Well, you just got body.
It happens, especially in Sinnoh. Like, another reason I generally hate Sinnoh is the gyms are too strong for what you train through. Like, I was facing Pokemon in their teens from other trainers, and then you go up against a gym leader who's at the level limit, and you need to be beyond the level limit for them to actually be defeated. The level balance is all wrong. Again, why is that I'm not a big fan of the Nuzlocke, because there are clearly games where it's harder to complete them. Again, right here, level 21 Ponyta. I'm supposed to be beating a level 30 gym.
I don't train in the underground.
That is an option now for that, but originally
It wasn't, yeah. I agree there.
Again, I definitely don't really need a lot to beat Maylene if I want to just go to the store and buy Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Psychic. I think Golduck can maybe Psyduck, but Dazzling Gleam.
Yeah, fairy type move. Type point? I don't think Maylene was expecting fairy move.
And again, Fairy's not the strongest against fighting any type of segments. Ice Beam for later.
Part of the ground, right?
Yeah. A bulldoze. Not here.
Dang it. Oh, there it is.
Very strong against fire, but resisted by steel. Yeah, it's not good against Lucario, that's what I was saying. Don, 5 stop spamming that. We saw it. We don't care. Rain Punch is already a strong move without the big root. And also, stop giving me advice on the games I'm fucking playing. sometimes it is helpful. Situations like this, where it's a casual Pokemon game with known balance issues, is not. Remove paint. I think I'll hold on Ice Beam for later. Close. Yeah, no, I need to do the puzzle again.
You're a little bit finicky.
But against the it's the graphics they did for this as well. It doesn't feel as nice to move around in it, so you're constantly bumping into stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm experiencing. That's what I'm noticing.
Especially noticeable with the fight, because I just kept losing control with that. Rematch!
Haley's cute.
Bandage over the nose.
Yeah.
How many times do you think she's broken her nose?
Probably more than she would be willing to admit.
Round 2.
Good, she burned here first.
Damn.
Stab.
You gotta fear that stab. Feeling like when I get to this game, I'm gonna body it. Leg. But Sensei, I'm stutter. No, but sweet. Leg.
Yeah, Conjured Spikes actually works on Mario. I'm betting no. I know there are ways to poison Lucario. It's not immune to poisoning, it's just immune to poison attacks.
I think maybe like poison could do it. Right?
No, it's immune to poison.
Oh, but this isn't the end, my friend. You had to give it a try, didn't you?
Yeah, I was trying for the same.
settled it.
Yeah,
But
it's the specials. Like, Lucario keeps raising defense, it has high defense, it has high special defense, but not as high.
So the answer was arson.
Yes, the answer was arson.
I like that begrudging look that she gave you because it's like, it was like, I'm glad you won, but I'm also upset that I lost.
I will, of course, be teaching the things. Multiple things.
Her first thought after losing was, man, I'm hungry.
And unfortunately, I learned fly and not strength, meaning I gotta go to another gym, so still no gibbles.
I think we've gone on for quite a while.
Yeah, we've gone for just over 3 hours, so I'm gonna go to the Pokemon Center and save, and we're gonna call it. Don't know if we'll be doing Pokemon Diamond next week, but I'll be playing it off stream, so kind of like we have done with other Pokemon streams, because it's Pokemon, everybody plays Pokemon, we don't need to be that adamant about only playing Pokemon on stream. Alright, guys.
Later, bye.